equally promote better understanding and the security of area.
Unregulated mineral exploration. President Tinubu talks tough. Places priority on public health, safety and community security.
What we have now address the need of mass families.
Education stakeholders move to review Nigeria's basic education curriculum. Plus, judiciary's role in Nigeria's democracy under scrutiny as IPAC holds first roundtable.
We expect so much from our judiciary.
The bundle of work for electoral systems has been given to the judiciary.
Hello and welcome to the Network News on NTA. I'm Naja Atutijani, standing in for Jummai Yusuf. And presenting business news tonight is our busy businessman, Benny Adams. Benny, what can we expect tonight?
So much in the world of business as the federal government takes delivery of CNG-powered buses for mass transportation.
All right, hold that thought. We'll come to it later in the bulletin. And also tonight, Ayo Deji Makinde is standing by with updates in the world of sports. Ayo, what's happening?
Well, Team Nigeria was still waiting at the moment. Pepe has retired from international football, and on a sad note, Issa Hayatu, former CAF president.
Well, that's sad indeed. Well, Nigerians will be looking forward to sports update later in the bulletin. Remember that this broadcast is also being streamed live on our website, nta.ng/live. Do catch the replay on our YouTube channel, NTA News, and follow us across social media as well. Now the news in detail. President Bola Tinubu has raised concerns over the health implications of unregulated mining activities on communities in mining areas, making a passionate appeal for solutions. The president made the appeal when he received participants of Course 32 of the National Defense College at the State House. State House correspondent Musbau Danwahab reports.
The solid mineral sector is getting an improved attention as the current administration strives to take its economy beyond the monocultural nature. The political will of the administration to mine the best of benefit from the sector was equally demonstrated in a presidential suggestion to the NDC Course 32 participants to join in the search for how to translate intention to action. Guided by the theme, Harnessing the Mining Industry for Enhanced National Security and Development, Strategic Options for Nigeria by 2035. After months of research within and outside the country, the course participants have come up with recommendations.
The presentation by the participants.
Strategic as the options are, the recommendations include improved layers of security for the sector as well as value addition to the minerals. President Bola Tinubu acknowledged the need for the diversification of economy through the solid mineral sector as well as proper security of the sector.
We've been pushing hard to ensure and your involvement, we equally promote better understanding and the security of area. We have challenges of scavengers and exploiters going on around the country right now. We have to be able to nip that in the bud.
But more important to the president is how to protect the health of residents and the mining environments.
We should understand that people live with the environment, and that environment is important to those who are in the area.
The value addition that was recognized in that presentation is something that is very, very important and significant in our march towards ensuring maximum benefits derivable from the solid mineral sector.
They have suggested ways and means on how to diversify our economy through solid minerals sector.
It's not all about fiscal security. We must be able to translate whatever it is that is happening in the mining industry into tangible outcomes that will be beneficial to the entire country, but especially the host communities where these minerals themselves are located.
Because 32 participants, which include 19 officers from across Africa, Asia, Europe and South America, have gone through 11 months of training in the National Defense College. They are the first set to make a presentation before a Nigerian president. From the State House, Musbah and Wahab, NTA News.
And speaking of presentations, producing a robust curriculum for basic education in Nigeria that will be in tune with the 21st century is in its final stages. The fallout of the National Stakeholders Dialogue and High-Level Policy Committee meeting on the review of the basic education curriculum. The National Education Research and Development Council conceptualized the idea and convened the meeting with State Commissioners of Education, Chairmen of State Basic Education Commissions, and other critical players in the sector.
It is an understatement to say that what we have now address the need of last 5 years, talk less of addressing the current need and also show the future prospect of Nigeria. And therefore, we have all to do a lot to ensure that we are not left behind.
This curriculum was designed to attain all the lofty values of social and economic development, as well as the ethical, moral, and civic values needed to lay the foundation for economic sustenance and value reorientation that will bring about human and national development.
Our education system must evolve to prepare our students for the challenges and opportunities of the 21st century.
Designing for this country a very out and lofty strategic curriculum that will turn around educational outcomes and bring in the needed national development.
Basic education curriculum was last reviewed in 2012. Meanwhile, the federal government has announced plans to establish a national youth bank aimed at providing financial support to youth-led enterprises for economic development. The Minister of Youth Development, Jamila Bio Ibrahim, stated this in Akure during a town hall meeting with youth drawn from the 6 southwest states. Paul Omukago reports.
These youths are from the 6 southwest states of Ondo, Lagos, Ogun, Oyo, Osun, and Ekiti. The relative peace in the region and the stakeholders' willingness to engage in dialogue with the federal government prompted this gathering. Impressed by their peaceful disposition, the Minister of Youth Development, Jamila Bio Ibrahim, unveiled the comprehensive policy approved by President Bola Tinubu for the Nigerian youth. This includes a 30% youth quota in all government appointments, the upgrade of youth development centers across the country, monthly allowances for unemployed graduates, and robust reform of the NYSC scheme to enhance its impact.
Working government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has acknowledged that our expressed desire for a better Nigeria. Governor
Lucky Ayedatiwa, in a goodwill message, urged the youth to take advantage of the various federal government programs aimed at fostering socio-economic development in the zone.
In Akure, Paul Omukago, NTA News.
Now we're talking infrastructural matters next, and architects in the country have reaffirmed their commitment to upholding ethical standards, mentoring and infrastructural innovation in the country. These key areas were highlighted by the Abuja chapter of the Nigeria Institute of Architects at its biennial general meeting and 40th anniversary celebration. Ayodeji Makinde reports.
These professionals in the field of architecture are taking their time to chart a new course for infrastructure development in Nigeria. The theme for the 40th anniversary meet is Architecture Unlimited, yesterday's lessons, today's experience and tomorrow's blocks. Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Ahmed Musa Tangiwa, joined by representatives of the FCT Minister and Director General NTA, explained that the federal government is driving infrastructure development with the Renewed Hope housing scheme nationwide.
The FHA has gone around the country to get more sites to go into housing construction also. The federal mortgage bank are already doing that with individual construction loan. If you need a loan, you just need a title land and use their own design and costing. You approach any branches nationwide to give you a loan to build their own house.
We're working with our planning approval sections in all the states to ensure that they approve only designs, drawings that are done by registered architects.
We attach a seasoned professional. We've done our background checks, so we attach them to 2 mentees in the university. Please mentor them. Encourage them.
It'd be great to have some, educational exchanges, having students from Nigeria and the United States, really communicate. And
different sessions with panelists to proffer solutions to emerging threats in the profession are included in the 3-day event with exhibition of architectural designs and innovation, offering further opportunities for networking. In Abuja, Ayodeji Makinde, NTA News.
Now let's talk business. Kano State Government says it will work with relevant federal agencies and the organized private sector to tackle artificial scarcity of essential commodities in major markets. Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf made this known during a meeting with members of the Kano business community. Abdullahi Mustafa was there for NTA News.
Members are representatives of wholesalers of essential commodities in Kano. They are on Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf's invitation to find way out of incessant price hike that is making it difficult for many families to put food on the table.
The prices of foodstuffs were raised to an unprecedented level beyond the capacity or the reach of these innocent people.
However, the traders blamed inadequate supplies and activities of middlemen for the hardship being experienced. They also appealed for investigation into the closure of most flour mills and other food processing industries in Kano.
We call on the Kano State government to invite those company producing the food item, more particularly flour, spaghetti, and sugar and vegetable oil, to come and have some branches here.
We're going to discuss it with the Minister of Power to see how best our businessmen can be assisted in that regard.
The governor also mandated the Kano State Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Commission's chairman, Moyi Magaji, to investigate and apply the rules on those causing artificial scarcity and hyperinflation. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
And for more on the business circle, let's join Benny Adams to tell us what's trending. Over to you, Benny.
Thank you and welcome to business. The federal government, in walking the talk of ensuring cheap and affordable transportation under the presidential CNG program, has taken delivery of 68 jet motor hybrid vehicles for mass transit under the presidential CNG program. The hybrid mover runs on compressed natural gas and premium motor spirit, commonly called the PMS. The vehicles were handed over to a team made up of officials from the Ministry of Finance and representatives of the Presidential Initiative for Compressed Natural Gas during a brief ceremony at the company's plant in Abuja, Lagos. Speaking at the event, Dimas Hamidu, the technical assistant to the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Finance, acknowledged the good quality of the mover vehicles and says a whole lot will be expected from this particular initiative. And taking a look at the market, investors gained 577.72 billion as the all-share index advanced by 1.05% to close at 98,116.27 basis points. A total of 604.2 million shares in 9,058 deals corresponding to a market value of 18.8 billion naira were traded. Today's data shows 5% decline in volume, 8% improvement in turnover, but 7% decline in deals. The current market capitalization is 55.7 trillion naira. On the aggregate, 117 listed equities participated in trading, ending with 33 gainers and 20 losers. Access Holdings recorded the highest volume of 116 million traded shares, followed by Guarantee Trust holding 110 million, and RB Mortgage Bank 58.7 million. It's time for a break. Do stay with us.
We're talking transportation now, and the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative, which is aimed at powering the transport sector, has received more support, having been described as the best option for the country moving forward. Founder of a Nigerian indigenous automobile manufacturing company, Innocent Chukwuma, commended President Bola Tinubu's administration for the initiative, saying it would transform the transportation sector and cut down the cost of transportation in the country. Mr. Chukwuma spoke to State House correspondents after his meeting with the President at the State House.
Idea for transportation in this country, because CNG, a lot of benefit on CNG, using Nigeria to use CNG. Because that benefit is what I see before I started the factory to produce vehicle on CNG. I've discussed with them, and they will see that in a short time, masses, public, will have enough CNG buses on the road.
Also appealed to Nigerians to allow the president more time for his social and economic policies to yield the expected positive results.
Let them give him time. Everything they want, they will see the better of Nigeria. They will give him short time. Let everybody come down for him. I'm begging Nigeria.
Now to ICT matters. Reclaiming its lost glory as Nigeria's internet hub in the early 2000s, Jigawa State government is rebooting its internet infrastructure. Governor Umar Namadi stated this while inspecting cutting-edge internet facilities deployed at the Galaxy office in Dutse. Muhammad Musa Askira reports.
Of the internet facilities deployed at the Galaxy Business Office in Dutse, Governor Umar Namadi's dream of restoring the past glory of the Jigawa State in the internet service provision to government and private institutions within and outside Nigeria is on the way to fulfillment.
This time we are ready to take ourselves back to where we were before. And with this Galaxy ITT, we will continue to invest in this Galaxy ITT, and the way they are going, I think we are sure that we're taking back our rightful place as the hub of ICT in Nigeria.
Already, the facility has begun providing internet services to customers and is working hard to expand the coverage for more revenue to the state government.
We provide internet service actually to government offices, all the MDAs, to organizations, and even to the individuals, not only in Jigawa State, even outside Jigawa. I remember within those years, we provide services to countries like Mali, Bamako, from here.
Governor Umar Namadi was also at the state printing press where he commends the management for a job well done.
Today you have seen the new machines they have. You can see the work they are doing. You can see that almost every printing activity can be done in that place now. So I think it's something that we will be proud of. And I was really impressed with what I have seen there.
These two places, stakeholders believe, could boost the revenue base of the state if maintained their operational tempo. From Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
And from Dutse, we head to Gombe State, where youths of Akko local government area of the state say their loyalty to Nigeria is non-negotiable. They displayed this loyalty with Nigeria's flags when they received Governor Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya, who was at the local government headquarters to inaugurate road projects and to inspect the newly constructed hospital in the area. Emmanuel Akila reports.
The youths in Akko welcome Governor Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya's entourage flying Nigerian flags, and that they say is to reaffirm their loyalty to their country.
I have to hold it because it's my country flag, and I'm proud of my country. That's why I hold it, and I don't want any violence or any crisis that will make my country to be default.
This is one of the reasons for their jubilation. The newly constructed General Hospital Kumo, which would serve as a referral facility for the primary healthcare centers in the locality. Governor Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya also inaugurated the road projects influenced to the area by a member representing Akko Federal Constituency, Usman Bello Kumo. Then the flag off of construction of Kumo Township roads, and inspection of the construction of Akko Local Government Area Secretariat under the State Local Government Joint Project Initiative.
There was no option for us with regards to that hospital in Kumo, but to demolish it and start entirely a new one that will meet the state-of-the-art conditions to turn it into a modern hospital. So I'm happy that we are where we are, and I urge our people to cooperate with government.
Governor Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya rounds up his tour of projects at the palace of the Emir of Akko, where the government and the traditional institution discuss matters of development and peaceful coexistence. In Gombe, Emmanuel Akila, NTA News.
Still on projects, the federal government has appraised the performance of all ongoing projects awarded to Julius Berger, tasking the construction company on timely delivery. Minister of Works David Umahi made this known at a meeting with the management of Julius Berger PLC in Abuja. Joshua Ojito was there for NTA.
In view of delay in project execution by multinational companies due to issues of price differentials or poor funding, the federal government opens discussion with Julius Berger PLC on all inherited and new projects. Issues of price control, commitment of contractors to project execution, value for money, and uniform pricing by location are brought to the fore.
Are very firm in our decisions in terms of price control, in terms of commitment of contractors to site, and value for money. We are very firm on that. And any contractor that wants a very wide range of prices, we have to leave the site, and we get people that can do the job to do the job. We are doing everything possible in this ministry to maintain uniform pricing location by location, and that has saved us, very seriously. Otherwise, it would have been catastrophic in the sense that every contractor will be looking for a price, for a particular project.
Minister of Works urged the contractor to be open to a mutually agreed modality for milestone execution and funding of the projects at reviewed rates.
From Monday, if any road still has pothole, we will record the director, we will record the controller for disciplinary action. There is no way we can rebuild the nation and carry out the directives of the president if we are not disciplined.
So a good job must be done, and that is the directive of Mr. President. And that is what the renewed hope agenda is to Nigerians, and that is what we must do.
Projects affected include the dualization of section of Abuja-Kaduna Zaria-Kano Road, Phase 2 of Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, Section 2A bypass at the Second Niger Bridge, the Bodo-Boni Road, and others handled by the company. Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
And smallholder farmers in focus as Auda NEPAD Nigeria set to commence implementation of the pilot phase of a 4-year program aimed at strengthening smallholder farmers across the country. Kenneth Nanim reports that Auda NEPAD Nigeria has organized a stakeholders engagement in Abuja to mainstream the comprehensive African Agricultural Development Program of the African Union. He tells us more.
In this hall are representatives from the state governments, coordinators of Abuja NEPAD Nigeria programs, international partners and other stakeholders. The essence of the gathering is to put issues in perspective, ensuring that every part of the country benefits from the funds being mobilized by the Abuja NEPAD Nigeria to support the smallholder farmers and improve on the country's agriculture and food value chain. This initiative is also in line with the 8-point agenda of the current administration, which includes enhancing food sufficiency in the country.
Let us take it serious at the state level. Please, if we don't use bottom-to-top approach to address security and hunger, well, we've not started. And that is our commitment as African Union Development Agency, in line with the implementation of the African Union Agenda 2063, of which zero hunger is a priority.
Providing explanations to some of the issues raised by stakeholders, beginning with 7 states in the pilot phase, Abuja NEPAD Nigeria says 10 million hectares of land is required for the agricultural program. Therefore, urges participating states to validate information in the template they were given, which they have submitted, to include counterpart funds commitment, size of lands available, and areas of agricultural interests. The states are also expected to mobilize the grassroots, especially the youths and women, for the agricultural program, as investigation team will be on ground to monitor implementation. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
The first Inter-Party Advisory Council (IPAC) roundtable on the role of the judiciary in Nigeria's democratic sustainability has ended in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf reports that this is in consonance with the vision of IPAC to consolidate and deepen democracy by ensuring a conducive environment for successful elections in Nigeria.
It's the maiden series of the IPAC Roundtable. It aims to chart a way forward to deepen the nation's democracy. The Council's chairman, Yusuf Dantale, says the decision to commence the Roundtable series with the judiciary arm of government is due to the fact that judiciary is fundamental to the growth of the nation's democracy.
The judiciary plays a crucial role in Nigeria's democratic sustainability. As the political leaders, we must work collaboratively to strengthen the judiciary, uphold the rule of law, and protect the principles of democracy.
Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Jibrin Samuel Okutepa, set the pace for the roundtable discussion on the role of the judiciary in Nigeria's democratic sustainability.
The issue of judicial reforms, the role of the electoral process, we have to be able to look at that, because a bundle of work for electoral systems has been given to the judiciary, and that should not be the case.
We expect so much from our judiciary.
Chairmen and representatives of the 19 registered political parties attended the maiden roundtable. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
The Nigeria Immigration Service has suspended an Assistant Superintendent of Immigration 2, Okpaweru Ufoma, deployed to the Murtala Muhammad International Airport, Lagos. The officer was caught soliciting financial gratification from a traveler in a now viral video titled, "This is how immigration officers treat tourists in Nigeria." A statement by the Comptroller General of Immigration, Kemi Nandap, indicates that the officer does not reflect the values and ethics of professionalism upheld by the service and has undermined ongoing reforms aimed at enhancing the service standards. The statement recalls that electronic gates are being installed at all the nation's international airports to facilitate smoother travel for all passengers and aims to prevent incidents like the one involving Ufoma. The statement adds that the indefinite suspension of the officer is pending the outcome of disciplinary procedures which are in accordance with the law and public service rules. The Nigeria Immigration Service reiterates its commitment to identifying and removing corrupt elements within its ranks in line with its zero tolerance for corruption policy. The federal government of Nigeria says it will not tolerate any foreign interference following reports of some violence associated with the nationwide protests in some parts of the country. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tuga, stressed that no nation tolerates foreign interference in its domestic affairs, and Nigeria is not an exception. The minister declared this while briefing members of the diplomatic corps in Abuja on the current situation in the country, pointing out government's reforms to bring about positive change.
Nigeria would certainly not encourage such political opportunism when it exists in other countries. Nigeria will always work with other countries to ensure that issues to do with pulling down a system, a legitimate system, a constitutional government are addressed jointly. And I think this is what we have to bear in mind as well as we continue to partner with each other.
Yusuf Tuga highlighted reforms to empower youth such as the Student Loan Scheme, Consumer Credit Corporation and Youth Empowerment Programs as part of the present administration's initiatives. The minister gave assurance that the government is committed to addressing the concerns of Nigerians and also affirmed that the country will continue to deepen its democracy. Nigeria is competing favorably with the rest of the world in the media space by constantly exploring available opportunities provided by technology. Former Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, made the observation when he declared open the exhibition conference at the 3rd edition of the Nigerian Electronic Media Content Exhibition and Awards, organized by the Electronic Media Content Owners Association of Nigeria, held in Lagos. Adiola Komiakiri reports.
By the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics shows that the creative industry in the second quarter of 2023 contributed about 2.54% to the nation's gross domestic product and is projected to grow up to 10% in the nearest future. The ever-evolving Nigerian entertainment content market is using this conference to conceptualize ideas, collaborate and promote the Nigerian brand. This year's conference focuses on leveraging technology to grow the creative economy.
Let us let people know why you can still remain in your business, why you should not rely too much on it, so that technology will not be the only one thinking for you.
Former Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, says the industry, which is self-sustaining, provides a variety of broadcast content for every category of consumers.
As a Minister of Information and Culture, we amended the broadcasting code in such a manner to give preference to local content in all form of broadcasting.
The use of AI in creating content and deployment of strategic tools for business expansion were some of the discussed at the conference.
Not the new hardware equipment that matters, but how software interfaces with what you already have to have a better production.
Skit makers have kind of shown the world that you don't need a big camera to tell your story.
AI will not go to negotiate for you. You still need to use and engage your brain.
NEMSIA rewards content and productions that are educational, innovative, locally relevant, and reflective of African Nigerians' common values and cultural diversity. In Lagos, Adeola Komiakiri, NTA News.
This is the network news on NTA. Stay tuned for more reports right after this timeout. It's nice to know you're still watching the network news on NTA. and 24 Nigerians have been repatriated from Sudan following crisis in the country. They were received at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, by the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons in partnership with the International Organization for Migration. Ruth Aguele reports on their homecoming.
We had the sound gunshot everywhere. There's one time I took more than five hours since 2 o'clock in the night until I think 6 o'clock.
Lehman recounts his horrific experience in Sudan following the ongoing crisis in that country. Lehman says his livelihood has been cut short and he was able to escape death by whiskers. For him, there is no place like home.
Well, alhamdulillah, I come to country, back to Nigeria, well, I'm just praying. Even without nothing. God bless Bola Tinubu, God bless federal government, everybody, including you, NTA. God bless you forever.
We heard that government was helping people, so we quickly took advantage of the aid. We didn't even pay anything to come back.
Before the arrival of these 24, about 29 have returned after due profiling by international partners from the 100 trapped in Sudan, bringing the total number back home to 53.
We usually put it across to everybody that is left there through this medium, that if you find yourself in any risk, the president is willing and has prepared everything here for you to come back and be properly reintegrated into the society. So if you're at risk and you want to return, you can come back home.
The returnees were given starter packs and will be enrolled in different skills acquisition programs in their respective states to enable them regain their livelihoods before reintegrating them into the society. In Abuja, Ruth Aguele, NTA News.
Quite heartwarming. Meanwhile, resilience, loyalty and grace, the bedrock of success in life to propel one to go far. A golden word of advice from retired Deputy Corps Marshal Bisi Kazim while delivering the 11th valedictory lecture series of the Corps tagged How I Thrived, working closely with 3 Corps Marshals in the Federal Road Safety Corps. Oyeyemi Ajayi reports.
It was indeed a time of reflection for the former Deputy Corps Marshal training Bisi Kazim, who chronicled his journey from being the first Assistant Route Commander to rise through the ranks to becoming a Deputy Corps Marshal of the Corps, as well as the first ever Corps Public Education Officer to work with 3 Corps Marshals, aside being the first person to serve as head of operations at the zonal level for the longest period of time.
For those of you still in service, I urge you to always remain loyal and committed to our country, the agency and superiors. If you are considered disloyal or found to undermine your superiors, you will not go far.
While commending the retiree, the Minister of Interior, Olubumitunji Ojo, and the Corps Marshal, Sheikh Mohammed, described him as an embodiment of charisma, leadership, and an accomplished media guru.
However, DCM, your unwavering commitment and invaluable contribution to the Federal Safety Corps have been nothing short of exemplary and extraordinary.
You didn't shut the door against future generations. You opened the door for better participation in the future. That is a legacy. You have created a legacy.
And I want to believe that if those he left behind can emulate the way and manner he conducted himself while in service, then the Federal Road Safety Corps will be better for it.
Bisi Kazim, popularly referred to in his circle as the Jagaban of FRSC, joined the Corps in 1988, and his loyalty, dedication and hard work earned him the role of the Corps Public Education Officer, a position he held for more than 12 years before being elevated to the position of the Deputy Corps Marshal training. Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
There's nothing like finishing your assignment well. Let's take another break. We'll come back with more reports. Africa Center for Disease Control likely to declare Mpox public health emergency in coming week. Bangladesh Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus takes oath of office as country's interim leader. Details and more on the global scene with Uche Ugochukwu.
African Union's health watchdog said it would likely declare a public health emergency next week over the green mpox outbreak on the continent. Head of the Africa Center for Disease Control and Prevention, during an online media briefing, said the decision will unlock funding to combat the outbreak, including the procurement of much-needed vaccines, and trigger a coordinated continental response to the virus. The World Health Organization announced it was urgently convening an expert committee to advise on whether the green mpox outbreak in Africa should be declared an international emergency. In other news, Kenyan President William Ruto has sworn in new cabinet, including 4 ministers from the opposition. President Ruto had dismissed all but one of his cabinet secretaries after weeks of demonstrations sparked by plans to impose levies on commodities.
We stand at the beginning of a new chapter of our country's governance and development. The women and men who have been appointed to serve the nation in the reconstituted cabinet have today embarked on a mission that cannot and must not fail.
Meanwhile, Kenyan police fired tear gas in the capital, Nairobi, as small groups of protesters gathered on what was billed as a fresh day of action against President Ruto. And Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus has been sworn in as Bangladesh interim leader. The decision to name Professor Yunus as chief advisor of the interim government followed a meeting between President Mohammed Shahabuddin, military and student leaders. Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News.
Earlier on, our sports desk announced a retirement and an Olympic loss. And now Ayo Deji Makinde is here to give us those details. Ayo.
Thanks, Naja Atsu. Well, let's begin from cycling, where the Federation has cleared the air surrounding claims by Nigerian cyclist Ese Okpeseraye that she had to beg to get a bicycle to race in the carrying and track events at the ongoing Olympic Games. President Cycling Federation of Nigeria, Jan Domenico Masari, who spoke exclusively to the NTA after the outburst, revealed that custom-made bicycles for specific events at the Olympics were presented by strategic partners who signed Okpeseraye up on a 2-year contract. He further disclosed that having arrived in Paris before July 23, when Nigeria got the notification for the 2 events, the best option was to use equipment provided by the international partners at the Games.
23rd has been, or July has been giving us the notification of these, qualification. So we have no any way, even if you have all the money of this world, you cannot, order and receive such bike. So through these people, they will be able, not because we went, even themselves, they suggested to get, and they get a bike that has been accepted and even registered for such competition. That is the matter.
Still with the Olympics, defending bronze medalist in women's long jump at the Games, Ese Brume finished 5th position in the event concluded about an hour ago. The African champion alongside Ruth Usoro and Pristina Ochonogo all fell behind Tara Davis-Woodhull of the USA in 7 minutes, 7.10 meters. Malaika Mihambo of Germany also leaped 6.98 meters, and Jasmine Moore of the USA won bronze in 6.96 meters. Also on Friday, world record holder Toby Loba will compete in the 100 meters hurdle semi-final to keep Nigeria's quest for a gold medal alive. Away from the Olympic Games, 13 teams will compete in Nasarawa State's Governor's Cup, which is specifically targeted at developing talents at the grassroots. Correspondent Aliyu Tijani in Lafia reports that the tournament, which is the second in the series since Governor Abdullahi Sule assumed office, will help the state contribute its quota to sports development in Nigeria. Governor Sule also unveiled tournament kits and trophies ahead of the kickoff of the competition.
We solicit for support for a successful tournament. Under my leadership, we will continue to initiate tournaments and competition that will promote football, region talent, and provide jobs for our youth.
This is one thing that always excites me, because we are trying as much as possible to bring talents from within us that are going to be pride of.
And of course, that's your sports. It's back to Naja.
Thank you, Ayodeji. And Sports Update concludes the network news on NTA. Thanks for being a part of the bulletin. I'm Naja Atutejani.